Hello, my Teaser King family. How's everybody today? Sorry I'm on a bit late, but the internet was out, so I couldn't come on until I got it back, which I got it back uh, about 20 minutes ago. So, waiting to hear from the job. I didn't hear anything today. I wasn't expecting to. They were going to talk to HR. Sounded very good. Probably, I'm assuming tomorrow, Thursday, the latest. At least tell me if I got it, then write up the offer letter, drug test, and the other. So I'm thinking very, very positively, but we'll see. In the meantime, I got applied to Harley again at another 4-month contract that just using insurance, being smart. Well, if I don't get this one, I can have that one. Hopefully I get this one. I'm pretty sure I got it, but you never know until, Anyway, so let's look at gold. Again, they're playing their freaking games. So we look at gold, and gold's down today, and we're, when I give the video yesterday about demand going up, it will. Let's see. Gold right now is 23.28. Silver's 29.55 getting killed. Now, again, people think it's profit taking, it's consolidation, whatever the hell they want to call it. And it's not. It's just JP Morgan doing derivatives, trying to get it low enough to get out. So he did his shorts for gold, probably 2,100, 2,200. He's trying to get back there. They're not letting him. So it went down to 23.18, and now it's back to 23.28. It'll get back into the 23.50s. Now, how long this game goes on is what everybody asks me. Well, why should I buy gold now? It doesn't move. The problem with people, they're trying to invest and trying to make money. Why own the gold that doesn't go up? Okay, it's price fixed, and JP Morgan does derivatives, but that's not good. It doesn't go up. And it has gone up a lot because I bought some at 1,700 and it's 2,400. So it has gone up, but not like a stock would. And there's no consolidation. There's no profit taking. It's all bullshit. Not in gold, only in stocks. So the problem with these bubbleheads that you see on here, these gold guys, they're all stockbrokers. So they think like stockbrokers, and they don't understand gold's not stock, gold's money. Gold's an investment. And the one guy who made fun of the baseball cards doesn't understand baseball cards. It's an asset, like a Rolex, like anything, a painting, a real asset, the Mahomes card, the Brady card, the Rolex, the gold, the silver. They move at points, but they're not like stocks. Stocks are the biggest scam. They go up, and then you wake up, they're down 30 points because somebody sneezed or did something, and it caused the price to drop. Okay. So we understand that. So right now, we see 23.27, but we can't look at it like a stock. We have to look at it like an asset, like a Mantle card. Because that's what it is. It doesn't go, nobody profit takes a Mantle card. Even the Montana card, the rookie card's 100 and a quarter. Nobody's profit taking it. They need the money, they sell it, otherwise they hold it. And they wait till it goes up to 200,000. Or the Jordan card was 35,000 when COVID hit, and now it's 500,000. Nobody's profit taking it. First of all, there's not a lot out there anyway, which is why it's worth so much. But they're not profit taking it. So you have to understand that. So that's the biggest problem. Oh, I don't want to. It doesn't go up because of the Ponzi scheme, because of the price fixing. But now all that's ending, and that's what I was telling you with the demand. See, as there's so much demand, when they try to do the shorts, somebody's buying it right away. They can't knock it down. So I don't know how much more JP Morgan has. They're going to lose trillions of dollars because they got derivatives at 20, at 2,000, at 2,100, 22 that they'll never get out of. And I think that all ends the second quarter. I think it's due each quarter. So the second quarter, they're in big trouble. And that's the end of June. So we will see. So right now, 23.28, 29.57 silver, which is all I can say is it's cheap. Silver is a little different animal. It's not tier 1, which means gold equals like a treasury bill, very safe. The silver, we know is safe, but it's still not there. So we're going to still see it go down because of the industrial use, the solar panels and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. But silver will go, and it's really just a buying opportunity. It just take a little longer, and you have to be patient about that. You have to understand, like when I get this new job, hopefully, I'll have to be patient, and I hate being patient. I'll have to be patient to learn their way of doing business. And then I can finally start running. Once I understand it, then I can go. I always hate that first part when I gotta learn. I don't learn well. I teach very well, but it's just, you don't want to learn anymore. I'm done learning. I just want to teach. All right. So that's our gold and silver for a while. Now let's look at our baseball. So let's look at yesterday's games. Our Verlander pitched terrible. Let's look at the scores. So our first game, Philly under 8, 3-1. It stays under 8, and Philly wins. That's a W. We got Baltimore over 7. And they win 7-2, so that's another W. We have Texas under 7, 2-1 game with the Tigers. That's a W. We got the Verlanders under 8, and this game was going to stay under, and then Houston got 4 runs in like the 8th inning off of a terrible reliever. So we lose it. Again, Verlander giving up 4 runs in the first couple of innings. So something's wrong. He's not Verlander yet, but we'll keep an eye on him. Cincinnati kills Colorado 13-3. We don't have a play on it. California beats San Diego 2-1. We don't have a play on it. And Arizona 4-2 against the 49ers. We have the Niners over, and we lose that one. So we break even on our 5 units. Philadelphia under and Frisco over 9. We break even. We lose 10 units on Verlander under 8. Again, Verlander was pitching a very good ERA guy, but as it turns out, the ERA guy was a fraud. He was a bullpen guy, which I thought I looked at. So I'm not sure what happened. He only pitched like an inning. Maybe he's not a bullpen guy, but he only pitched an inning. And anyway, Verlander pitched like 5 and gave up like 5 runs. And just a bad outing from him, but he's human. So, okay. So on the day, we go 3-2. And really, it's just the Verlander game, which I would do that 100 times out of 100. That was a proper bet. It didn't win. All right. It's 416. We got 640. We got Kansas City at Cleveland. Cleveland a 130. Favorite 8 over under. Seth Lugo 9-1 with a 172 against Tristan McKenzie 2-3 with a 377. So the question is, do we take KC's ace or do we go under? So let's take a look at it. Tristan McKenzie. Out of Brooklyn, one of Bobby's friends. I bet Bobby knows him. And this guy is 5 and 6 innings, couple of 3s and 4s in the beginning. Doesn't go much past. Yeah, he had a 7 inning or once. Gave up 4 runs to Colorado last time out and 3 runs to the Mets, and a couple of 1s and a couple of 2s. So it's really hard to gather a streak here. So it looks like he's going to give up 2 or 3 runs. And with Seth Lugo. So we're going to go KC. We're going to make this 5 units. And Cleveland. Now, I got to love this one. Cleveland's a 130 favorite for some reason. They got to be out of their minds. Seth Lugo's 9-1 with a 172, and they're making Cleveland favored. Wow. But this McKenzie's not, I expect Lugo to give up 1 run and then they'll lose. KC will win 3 or 4 to 1 or something. So we'll go KC right off the bat. Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Jared Koenig from Milwaukee, 5-1 with the 205, and Chris Sanchez, 3-3 with the 283. For Philly, we're going to go under here. Philly under. We went under yesterday, under 8-1, and it's under 9 today. So we're going to go another 5 units. Off we go. The Dodgers and the Steelers. We got the Dodgers 190 and an 8. Tyler Glasnow is 6-3 with the 304. Jared Jones 3-5 with the 355. Again, I don't think I get why the Dodgers are this big of a favorite. Jared Jones. 4 innings against the Tigers, gave up 7 runs. 6 innings, gave up 3. 6 innings, gave up 3. 6 innings, gave up 3. 7 innings, a 1-hitter. 6 innings, a 4-hitter. 5 innings, a 1-hitter. Then he gave up 3, 2, 3. Looks like he's probably going to give up at least 3 runs here for the Pirates. Glasnow with a 3 ERA, 6. The Pirates hit. The Pirates hit 228. Let's go under here. Let's go Pitt under. But I'm not going to bet it. Little too high, Jared Jones. Little too high for me. Tampa Bay, Miami. Tampa Bay is 1.25 and 7. Ryan Pepiot, 3-2 with a 388. Jesus Luzario, 2-4 with a 418. Jesus. Over under a 7. Tampa Bay's hitting 232. Miami's hitting 236. Pitchers, pretty bad. I'm going to go over 7. I'm not going to bet it because I don't trust these offenses, but I think the pitchers are weak enough that we can get an over 7. The Mets in Washington. The Mets minus 145, over under 9. David Pearson, 0-0 with the 360. DJ Hertz for Washington, 0-0 with an 0-0 from North Carolina. And this is his first game. Hey, what do you do with the first games? David Peterson, 0-0 with a 360. Let's see what he's got. And he's pitched 1 game. He pitched 5 innings and gave up 3 runs. Well, he's a dog, too. I don't know what you got here. I don't know how you can play the game. One pitcher hasn't pitched. One pitcher's pitched 1 game, gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. Okay, let's go to the average. Washington hits 230, and the Mets hit 237. So it's going to be a low-scoring game. Pitchers suck. I gotta watch this one. We don't have enough information on the pitchers to start betting this. Minnesota and the Yankees. This should be a good game. The Yankees 185, 7.5. Bailey Ober 5-3 with the 489 against Luis Gil 7-1 with the 199. We're going Yankees 5 units. I'm not fucking around. Bailey Ober, he's okay. He's not okay. Luis Gil, I don't know, but he's 7-1 with the 199. So I am taking the Yankees here. Baltimore and Toronto. Baltimore minus 160 over under of 8. Corbin Burns 5-2, 235 against Trevor Richards 1-0 with the 318. Let's look at Trevor Richards. I mean, it's like now I got to see, is he a bullpen guy or is he actually pitched? And he's actually pitched a lot of bullpen. We got a bullpen guy. All right, bullpen guy with the 318, Corbin Burns. So we're going to take Baltimore here. Atlanta, Boston. We got Atlanta minus 165 over under of 8. We got Max Fried 5-2 with the 297. Cutter Crawford 2-4 at the 329. Cutter Crawford used to have like a 1.5 ERA. He's pitched lousy. I'm going to go with Atlanta 5 units. Crawford is no more. He was good, and then they figured him out, I guess. Detroit and Texas. Detroit's a minus 105, 7.5 in Texas. Jack Flaherty, 2-4, 346. Dane Dunning, 4-3 with a 394. We're going to go Texas, and we're going to go over 7.5. Now, I know one of the guys on Detroit, this Carpenter guy, got injured. Who's actually one of their few hitters that could hit over 250. 7.5. You got 2 pigs pitching, so should be able to get over 8. Shouldn't be a big deal. The White Sox and the Cubbies. Okay, this is going to be our 10 unit. Cubs 10 units. Ooh, they're laying 300. Oh well. Still going the Cubs. We got Chris Flexen 2-5 with a 550 for the White Sox. Shoto and Maganga 5-1 with the 186. So we got to go the 186 and 10 units. It doesn't matter. I mean, if it's 300 or 100, if it wins, we don't. It just takes more to win the 100, so that's fine. St. Louis and Houston. Andre Palante for St. Louis, 1-1, 394. Spencer Spaghetti back, 3-5 with the 598. He's pitching better. He's lowered his ERA from 10 to 6. He looks better. We're going to take Houston here and Spencer. We're not going to play it for anything. But we're gonna stick with them. They hit pretty good yesterday. Probably goes over 9. Let's go Houston over 9 instead of Houston. Either way, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm not betting it, just picking it. Cincinnati, Colorado. Cincinnati beat them 13-3 to cover the over 11. Frankie Montez 2-4 at the 460 for Cincy. Ty Black 2. Okay, so now we're gonna go Cincinnati over 11, and we'll make this for 5 units. Hard to go over 11. I can't, I guess a pop-up is a home run in Colorado. San Diego and California. California is a minus 128.5. Adam Mazur, Patrick Sandoval. Sandoval is 2-8 with the 534. Mazur is one of these new pitchers. No stats available from St. Paul, Minnesota. He probably knows Mr. Perfect. He's from Minnesota. Although he's dead, unfortunately. I hate all the wrestlers dying. Probably all the drugs they took. What do you do with this one? Sandoval sucks. We're going to go over. We're going to go LA over 8.5. We got to believe this Missouri. We'll go 5 units. Oh, we see Sandoval sucks. He's 2-8 with the 534. So we're looking for San Diego to score, and then I don't think this Mazar goes more than 5 innings. All right, let's check San Diego's bullpen. It's a 3.75, but they do hit 260. So this should go over. All right, I'll take this over. Seattle and Oakland. Go good football game. George Kirby 4-5 with a 408 against Mitch Spence 4-2, 352. We're going to go Oakland over 7.5, 5 units. And it leads us to our last game, the 49ers against Arizona. Arizona's a 120, 9.5. Kyle Harrison 4-2 with the 415 against Blake Watson 0-0 with the 216. And he has pitched twice against the Dodgers, 3 2/3 of an inning. Gave up 3 hits, 2 runs. And then against Miami, 4 innings, 4 hits, and no runs. What do you make of this guy? Beating Miami doesn't, so he's not a starter. Kyle Harrison 4. So this is probably another over. But it didn't go over yesterday, unfortunately. I had over 9, and it didn't get there. Didn't even get close. All right, we're going to let that go. So let's look at our games. KC, 5 units. Philly under 9, 5 units. Pitt under 8, no bet. Miami over 7, no bet. The Yankees, 5 units. Baltimore, no bet. Atlanta, 5 units. Texas over 7.5, no bet. The Cubbies, 10 units. This is our lock. Houston over 9, no bet. Cincinnati over 11, 5 units. California over 8.5, 5 units, and Oakland over 7.5, 5 units. So there you go. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 plays, 1 10-unit. The Cubbies. Inevitably, a lot of times I hit the 10-unit, but inevitably I'll kill the Pittsburgh, the Baltimore, the Texas, the ones I'm not betting on. And it's really about the pitchers. If I have the aces going or the pigs, it's easy. But when you got these 4.0 ERAs, you don't know what to do with it. So that is baseball. Let's look at, I do have I want to talk about 2 for the money. And I want to talk about My Cousin Vinny. So we're going to play some movies today that we want to talk about. Let's have some fun. We'll go week 1 NFL, which shouldn't take too long, and then we'll get into these movies. And then there's a couple of videos. I don't think I have any new finance ones. Maybe I do. I think there's a new Egon one. I don't know. Let me see. What did I watch today?
Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought to yourself, wow, I thought I'd be further along, I'd be better off than I am right now? Have you got
of all involved? Instead of deferring the decision back to her,
well, I have a few Russian ones, but not anything on gold and silver. We played those yesterday. So let's talk a little baseball, and then we can talk a little gambling in these movies or gambling movies. All right, week 1, we start off KC. The Mahomes boy, KC -3. Well, okay, the line's mine because we don't trust Vegas because they're a bunch of idiots. So week 1, KC -3 over Baltimore. Definitely like KC. We like Mahomes. We think it's an under game. Again, week 1, there's no preseason. These guys are not in shape. They're all going to get hurt. A lot of leg injuries just from not running. You can't practice and then play a game. It doesn't work. So, again, Mahomes does play in the preseason. We saw last year. Kelsey got hurt in the game and before the game, and their defensive linemen didn't play. So if everybody's healthy, which we'll get to week 1, this should be an under game with 2 good defenses. We know how Lamar shows up in these big games, and then we know Mahomes. So I think it's definitely an under, and maybe KC. Green Bay, Philly, Friday night in Brazil. What the fuck are they doing there? Maybe they'll go play on Mars once Tesla has it figured out. Except you can't go there because of the radiation. Right now, I don't know. I got Green Bay -3. I think it's a high-scoring game. Green Bay showed you they could score on Dallas and San Francisco, 2 good defensive teams. Philly fell apart, so Green Bay is going to score all day on Philly. Philly's got Kellen Moore as a new offensive coordinator. We'll see what happens, but I think this is an over game. I would take Green Bay if they're the dog. I think they'll be a 3-point favorite. Atlanta, Pitt, Atlanta -3. Now we're on Sundays. I got Atlanta -3 at home. I think Pitt's a live dog with Russell Wilson and the good defense. Atlanta, probably starting Cousins. I'd rather see Penix. Pitt's got the better defense, the better coach. Atlanta, I don't like them. Penix will win for, and Penix will get him in the playoffs. Cousins, we've seen Cousins act, and he sucks. He had Justin Jefferson, and he couldn't do shit. With Justin Jefferson, give me a break. So what makes you think Cousins is any good? He's not. Okay. So I like Pitt. They're a very live dog. I think Atlanta will be -3. I think we can go under, depending on the over-under in the game. Buffalo, Arizona. Buffalo, I got -7 and probably a 50-51 over-under. Definitely love the game over. And Buffalo, if they're under, we can get them under a field goal. I like Buffalo. Arizona, no defense. Kyler Murray running around. I like Buffalo at home. Should smoke them. The Bears against Tennessee, 2 of the weakest teams in the league besides Carolina, New England, Washington, and the Giants. I got the Bears -3 only because they're at home and only because Tennessee's got Will Levis and a new coach. I hate the Bears offensive coordinator. If the Bears think Caleb's going to walk in and light it up, they're out of their minds. He's going to wish he was playing Notre Dame. Tennessee, fairly good defense, but again, their head coach is gone, Vrabel. I got to go with the under because I don't know where there's going to be points in this game. The Bears supposedly have a pretty good defense. Tennessee will probably just run the ball. No offense. I don't know what their defense is going to look like. Both teams suck, so both Z teams. So if the Bears are 3-point favorites, we probably like Tennessee. We definitely like the under. Cincinnati, New England, again, another terrible team, New England. They'll probably not win a game unless they play Carolina or Tennessee or Houston or, Jacksonville, whatever. I got Cincinnati -10. I got Joe Burrow, and they're going to win by 50. New England with no defense, no coach, no quarterback. I think they'll go with Brissett, which would make perfect sense. He's probably their best chance, but I think Cincinnati kills him at home with Burrow, Chase. They'll want to get off to a good start. They didn't make the playoffs last year because of Burrow got injured. Well, Burrow's healthy this time so far. So go Burrow, beat New England. Houston, Indy, I got Houston -3 because everybody loves CJ Stroud but me. I think this is an over game. I think neither team's got a defense. Richardson's CJ Stroud's if Indy's a home dog, I like them because Houston couldn't beat Carolina in Carolina last year, for Christ's sake. So if it's Houston -3, I like Indy +9, and I like the over in the game. I assume Richardson would start, and obviously Stroud. Jacksonville, Miami, we got 2 pig quarterbacks. Lawrence against Tagliavua. Both teams, neither has a defense. I got Miami -4, probably a 52 over under. I like the over. Miami scores a lot at home. Jacksonville can't stop anybody. Look for Lawrence to run around, and they'll score on this weak Miami defense. So I'm looking at a 60-point game. So if it's 52, let's go over 46. Carolina, New Orleans. Carolina is the worst team in the league. Steve Young at quarterback, no coach, terrible team. New Orleans, I got -7, probably mid-40 over under. Like the game under, and I like New Orleans under a field goal. So I'm saying 7. If it's 3, great. If it's 10, we'll just go under. Giants, 3 against Minnesota in New York. Daniel Jones against Sam Darnold, probably. Both teams suck. I think this is an under. I don't know where you're going to get points from. Anything in the mid-40s, we go under 50. I don't like Minnesota as a dog with Darnold quarterback, and Daniel Jones sucks. So I guess you could go take Minnesota, but I think the under is better because I don't know where you're getting points in this game. Oakland, San Diego, just looking at it, I love the under. Oakland with the great defense, no quarterback, Minshew, the coach, really a defensive guy. San Diego going to play Michigan's defense with Harbaugh. I love the quarterback, Herbert. You didn't draft Brock Bowers. You drafted a freaking guard. Oh, my God. So San Diego, they're going to be missing throwing to the tight end all year. Could have had Brock Bowers, which you ain't going to see a Brock Bowers for 10 years. You take him. Terrible choice. Oh, they have a guard now from Notre Dame. Whip-de-fucking-do. They're just going to run it. I mean, it'll be like watching Michigan. They're going to run it and play defense. And only against Oakland, they're not going to move the ball. Oakland really can't score. So this is a great under here. Anything in the 44, 45 range is going under 50. Denver, San Diego, or Seattle. Seattle laying. I got laying 3 at home. Mid-40s over under. I love Bo Nix. And the Notre Dame running back makes sense. We'll see the receivers. We'll see the defense. Totally unknown right now. Seattle, no defense. Geno Smith is not the answer. Love Metcalf and Lockett. Don't like Smith and Najimi. That was a terrible draft. Why do you need 3 receivers? But, why would you draft a 3rd receiver that is never going to get the ball and you need defense? And you got 3 good running backs. So I look for this to be high scoring. I think Bo Nix does put up some numbers. He'll get better as the year goes on, but I love Sean Payton. He'll get you some points. Seattle will get you points, and I don't know what kind of defense we're going to have. So I got Seattle -3, so Denver 9 is probably a good play there. Dallas, Cleveland, in Cleveland. Cleveland laying 7. I got probably 45. I don't know. Is it going to be Thompson Robinson or Deshaun Watson for Cleveland? We know Dak Prescott. Or maybe Trey Lance. He's getting ready. What a joke that is. I love Cleveland. Cleveland laying 7 down to 1. Under is definitely the way to go, especially if it's Deshaun Watson against Prescott. It's under. I'm not sure Dallas scores with Prescott against this defense. Myles Garrett. Chubb's going to run the ball, although you got Micah Parsons to cover Chubb. So it's a very good defensive game. It's definitely an under, and Cleveland should be a 7-point favorite. It'll probably be 3 or 4. God knows if it's Dallas favored, then we're all over Cleveland. So this is how you get a lock. You go and you make your spread. Cleveland -7. They're the better team by a mile. Chubb should be playing. I don't know their quarterback. Myles Garrett in the defense. Good receivers. Seem to be good coach. Dallas, they're in way over their head here. Prescott, not very good. The coach sucks. And we know the defense is good, Micah Parsons. So it should be a defensive game, and it should be close and low scoring. But if you make Dallas the favorite, then it's, then we jump all over Cleveland and 9. this is what the spread should be, Cleveland -7. I don't think it will be, but this is what we wanted. This is what it should be, Cleveland -7. So we like Cleveland in the game, of course. Washington, Tampa, both teams suck. Washington with Daniels, good quarterback, but new coaches, new receivers. I don't know what Washington's going to look like, but I do like Daniels, but he's in, he doesn't have a chance. Tampa Bay with Mayfield should be starting Trask. Defense okay, receivers okay. Need a running back, need a coach. I don't know. I don't know that I can take Washington as the dog here. It's probably an under game. Tampa will play them low scoring. I don't see Washington lighting it up with the dread they got, except for Daniels, but it's his first game. What you going to do? The Rams and the Lions, Sunday night. I got Detroit -3 at home. Over under, probably upper 40s. Love the game over. Detroit scores a bunch, has no defense. The Rams with Stafford, Pukanuka, and whoever the guy was who we used to watch. I can't remember the other receiver's name, but they got Pukanuka who lit him up for 30 catches in the playoff game. I think it'll be a little higher than the playoff game because these guys aren't, in shape. So I'm looking for a 60-point game. Over under 48, 49. We'll go over 42. Put that with the Cleveland under. Put it with the New Orleans under. I mean, there's a lot of sweet over-unders this week. Oakland, San Diego. First team to 10 will win that game. This is the problem with Detroit. They don't have a defense. And teams with only an offense, like a Dan Marino or Dan Fouts, they look good, but when they get up against the better teams, they lose. Look at the San Diego-Oakland 1980 playoff game. So the Steelers win 78 and 79, the 79-80 Super Bowl. So now we're in the 1980 year after the Steelers win. And where did the Steelers go? And here you got Oakland, San Diego. And I think San Diego beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs. And then you have they come in against Oakland, and Jim Plunkett lights them up. A lot of turnovers by Dan Fouts, good defense by Oakland, and Oakland wins. So even though you got San Diego, a good passing offense, at the end of the day, they run into a good defense, and it always beats the good offense. Marino goes to one Super Bowl when he had the Bumblebees, and that was it. For 20 more years, he never made another Super Bowl because he never had a defense, and he wanted to throw the ball. And guess what happens? You never rest your defense. They never made it back to the Super Bowl. Joe Montana made it 5 or 4 times. Not a problem. They had a great day. They had Ronnie Lott, Pookie, Hackshaw Reynolds. I mean, it was beautiful. Fred Dean, Charles Haley, how they let him go to Dallas. Wow. If they didn't do that, they'd have won another 3 Super Bowls. Dallas wouldn't have won any. So Charles Haley leaves, but they were stacked. But Miami never had that kind of defense. Brady never won when he didn't have that. He won when they had good defenses. So what I'm getting at is the Lions without a defense. They still have the same shit defensive coordinator. They still have the same shit coach. It's 4th and 2. We're at our own 5-yard line. You know what? We're going to go for it. The algorithm says go for it. We're going to go for it. The Rams, Stafford, better quarterback, better defense, better coach. Puka, all around, the Rams are better. Revenge. I like the Rams getting 9 here, and I like the over. And the last game, Monday night, the Niners and the Jets's. Love the Jets. Aaron Rodgers. We pray he plays more than one series. Assuming he plays the full game, I like the under in the game, and I like the Jets's getting. I got the Niners by 7, so I get 13. That I like. With that defense, it's a killer defense, and if you give him Rodgers that actually plays, nobody's beating the Jets this year. It'll be the Jets, and it'll be let's see, probably Cincinnati and Kansas City in the AFC. In the NFC, it's the Niners and the Niners and the Niners. I mean, the Cowboys with Prescott can't do anything. Green Bay could give them fits because they actually have a pretty good defense, good offense, and a really good coach. Philly, God knows what happened to them. If they got to go to Matt Patricia again, they don't. They have Vince Fangio as their defensive coordinator. So we'll see. They had the talent, although I'm very curious on Jalen Hurts. They have all the Georgia defensive players. If Fangio can run the Georgia defense, they shut out everybody. So Philly could get there if they get their heads out of their asses. The Niners, Dallas, not with Dak Prescott. Green Bay, yes. Lions, no defense. Vikings, no quarterback. The Bears, no quarterback. The Rams, that'll be interesting. With Puka Nacua, you got Stafford. You've got a bunch more good defensive players they drafted. Their running back was good. They are a very strong team. They need to get better defensively. So we'll see what they do during the year. We'll keep our eye on the Rams. They could be the sleeper team. And that's week 1. These are my lines, not the official ones. Mine are much better, of course. But that's, now we got to see who the starting quarterbacks are. We got to watch for injuries, all that stuff. All right. Yesterday, we were talking gold and huge demand and what's going on. And if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to ask. I can go all over the place. And then we see gold down today. Well, it doesn't act like that. What we're saying is there's a huge demand for gold. All the people in China are buying it. These pension funds and billionaires are starting to talk to Egon about how do I buy gold? Well, they don't just buy it. It's not like they go into Walmarts today and say, yeah, give me 100 tons of gold. They're setting up to buy it, and the buying will take place over the next month or so. You still have the derivatives because the bullion banks, JP Morgan and HSBC, which is Hong Kong Bank, and I think there's one in London. These bullion banks are just buried. They shorted it like idiots. They didn't understand all the demand by the central banks. They don't understand the U.S., how they're just fucking the dollar over. And they kept shorting it into a fast demanded item. The demand for gold is huge. Not good, huge. They will run out and then it'll go to secondary buying like the Super Bowl. So that's going to happen. And it's just going to take time, but we know that's where it's headed. You do not watch gold like you watch the stock market, especially paper gold. You do not watch paper gold like you're going to watch physical gold, because paper gold, I mean, I don't understand these people on the Gold Network, this Greg Hemke guy and this Rick Rude guy and Reichert and all these guys are so stupid. They think it's a freaking stock. Well, it goes up and down. No, it doesn't go down. It never goes down. What goes down are the derivatives, which is the price fixing. That's the paper gold. In the physical world that we live in, the price, nobody's selling, everybody's buying, and the gold price should keep going up, and it shouldn't consolidate, and it shouldn't be profit taking. But you see it in the paper world. So in the paper world, that's how it reacts, is JP Morgan dumping. It's London doing derivatives and options because of two reasons. One, China's paying them to keep the price down so they can buy more. And God knows China, they got all the citizens buying. They're up to 60,000 tons, maybe 70,000 tons of gold by now. I'm talking the country of China, not the central bank like Rick Reichert likes to talk about. So China's buying, India's buying, Saudi's buying, Russia, we know, is buying. All these countries are buying physical gold, but we don't have a physical market. We only have the paper gold that actually gives you a price. So the price of this is the paper gold price, not the physical price. We don't even know what this is. It is nowhere near $660. Times at least 10, right? There's no way this is 660 because there can't be, there's nobody selling. Everybody's buying gold. Do I ever sell? No, I want to buy more. I want to buy more. I'm praying I get this job. I'm running to the gold store the next day to buy more because then I know I'm getting income coming in that I can, buy more gold with. And that's what I'm at. See, this is the way I am. I think I got the job, but I don't celebrate till I know I got the job. I'm very conservative that way. It's just like a football game. We're winning 24-0 in the third quarter. Until we get to about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, 24-0, I don't call it a W. I call it a W when it's, okay, now we've won it. I've seen too many games that we thought we won, and then they get 2 touchdowns and you lose. And I've gotten where I think I got the job and I didn't, especially in the last couple of months. So I ain't saying shit. I am the strongest candidate from my recruiter, and today they're just going to talk about it. I sent my thank you to the guy who interviewed me yesterday. So I'm just waiting to hear from my recruiter probably tomorrow or Thursday. But I don't have it till I have it. But when I have it, I'm buying gold. And when I go, I'm not selling the gold. I'm only selling gold in an emergency situation. Somebody needs medical, somebody needs money, and I'm only selling it to pay the money, but I'm never selling it to make a profit. That's going to be down the road. When this hits 20,000 an ounce for this, maybe I sell it, but what do I do with the money? See, the problem is this is worthless. So in what world do I want to sell this to be back in this when this is what's the Titanic, which is sinking? So I'm getting off of this before it goes to the bottom of the ocean. It is going to the bottom of the ocean. And I'm buying this instead. So it's sell this. I hate this. Sell this, buy this. Why would I ever sell this to get back into this? I wouldn't. So I can't sell this unless, like I said, it's a medical type of thing, or we have a new one of these that's backed by gold. Otherwise, I don't want anything to do with paper. So I don't want to sell the gold, especially if I'm working and I'm getting money in. I don't need to sell the gold. So I'm holding the gold, watching the price go up in the physical world that we live in, not the paper world we live in. So when I see the COMEX drop, to me, it's a buying opportunity. I don't worry about it. I know with all the buying going on and all the new demand from all these pension funds and billionaires that Egon talked about yesterday, and all the people in China have no other option but to buy physical gold. And what do you got, 1 billion people there? And they're all buying gold in their bank accounts now. China's made it like you can buy it. God knows what China's got planned for that gold. But I think what they'll do is, I think what China's doing is just getting all the gold. They want to hoard all the gold. And then what they'll do to their citizens is, look, we need your gold, but we'll give you $10,000 for it or whatever. And that's what they're going to end up doing, is having all their people buy it, then buying their gold from them. They're not going to confiscate it. They'll give them money for their gold. And then they'll have all this gold in Russia and India and Saudi Arabia. And, oh, wait, the Americans won't have any gold. Great. We're really being led by real bright people. Oh, my God. We must have the stupidest people in charge of this country. As you can see, this war with Russia is it's getting me nervous because they're talking about nukes. Putin doesn't want to use nukes because he looks at it as a business. Who am I going to sell my gas and oil to? And I got all my gold, and I'm looking for people to buy my stuff. That's the Austrian way. I want customers. Do you realize if everybody was on Austrian economics, you wouldn't have racism? Because I don't care what color you are. If you want to buy my football picks, you can be red, white, blue, black, green, or purple. I don't care. You're a customer. Welcome. Welcome to the club. Just like anybody who comes in here, I don't care. Welcome to the club. I'm here to teach you. I don't care. I'm blind. There's no racism here. But that's Austrian economics. You would never have racism. And what pisses me off is when they say, what was I watching? There was something where it was like a black, I think I was watching the Simpsons predictions for 24, and it was like the first black president or black female president. And why are they black and white? Why aren't they just people? Why isn't it just a man and a woman? I don't understand why it's got to be a black man. Why can't it just be a man and be a woman? I made this observation to a black lady in Alabama. Worked at a furniture store, and I was looking for furniture. And I said, you know what? If you would just be a lady and not a black lady, you probably wouldn't have racism, because then you're a lady and I'm a man and he's a man. And if you just keep it that simple, you don't have racism. She got it. She was like, oh, yeah, that makes a good sense. So anyway, Chinese are going to buy. So if you have demand for the product, the price goes up. So, why, Howard? Why is the price down today? Well, because it's going to take time for them to get it. And JP Morgan's desperately doing two things. When he does his derivative like he does today, so let's see where we're at with gold today. Oh, come on. Every once in a while, this site doesn't kick in. Oh, here it is. All right, so gold's 23.27. Silver's 29.50. So, Howard, why is gold down $23 today if everybody's buying it? Valid question. Good question. And the reason is JP Morgan has two methods. One, China's is paying them to keep the price down. Do the derivatives to sell it, to lower the price. We want to buy it. The second is they're fucked. They got all these money in their derivatives and other options at 2,200. And they're going to lose a fortune because they can't possibly get this down to 2,200. There's too much buying at 23.18 that pushes the price back up. That's China. That's India. That's South America, Saudi Arabia. They're buying it. So they are buying it faster than they can short it. And they need physical, so they don't have that much left. So this is about to end, I believe, the second quarter, which is the end of June. And anyway, it's just they can only do it for so long, and then if they run out of gold, they got to stop. And China's buying and buying and buying anyway, so it's just crazy. But those are the two reasons that you see the price go down. So JP Morgan is desperately trying to get the price down where they can get out of their derivatives. If you've ever done an option, Coca-Cola is $40 a share, and you do a put option, which is saying it's put up it's a put down, right? I don't know what the up is, and it's 40. I'm hoping it goes to 36, and then I'll sell my option and I'll make money. So I'm basically selling it at 40 to buy it at 36. Trading places, right? Eddie Murphy. And what they're doing is selling the gold at 2,300, trying to buy it under 2,300. So if we use trading places, Eddie Murphy and Aykroyd, they sell at 142 and buy it at 29. They can do it in reverse depending on what you do. So what these idiots are doing at JP Morgan. They sold it at 2,400 with the intent of, or they bought it at 2,400 with the intent of selling it. They want the price to go down so they can get out of it. So they bought it. Let's say they bought it at 2,200. They sold it at 2,200 to buy it at 2,100. All right, I know I can get it. So they hope the price goes down so they can buy it back under what they sold it for. So again, if you sold it for 2,400, you want to, sorry about this, you want to buy it lower than you sold it. So they bought it. Excuse me. I feel like the Biden secretary guy. If so, they bought it at 2,400. They want to sell it at 2,500. No. All right. They sold it at 2,200. They want to buy it at 2,100. Okay, I know I'm getting, yeah, everybody ran away. I don't blame them. So I sold it for 2,300, and I need to buy it underneath it. So I want to buy it for less than I sold it for, like Eddie Murphy. So they sold it for 142, and they bought it at 29. So here they did the derivatives. They sold it at 2,300, so they want to buy it at 2,200. There, I knew I'd get it. So to go buy it at 2,200, but it's at 23.27 right now. So if they buy it at 23.7 and they've sold it at 2,200, they're going to lose. So that's the problem. That's why they keep doing the derivatives, but they never should have done the derivatives into a market where the price is going up. And that's what happened. So they're doing this option where they're selling first and then trying to buy it at a lower price, but the price keeps going up. So why are they selling? Why are they short on it? I guess the orange juice came in that nothing's wrong. Why would you sell it at that price with the hope of buying it lower when it's going up because of demand? Had they known that, they would have bought it, and now they could sell it much higher. It's like the fixed basketball game. You can win by the spread's 8, you can win by 7. And then you realize that the star player, if you would have let them play, they would have won by 30 points. So now they're struggling to win by 7, but had you bet it the other way, it would have been an easy 20-point win. I think these guys wouldn't have had a chance. Anyway. So that's what's going on. Sorry about screwing that up, but basically you want to buy it less than you sell it for. So you're selling first and then you're buying. And because the price has gone up, they can't buy it at this price because it's more than what they sold it for. That's why JP Morgan keeps doing the derivatives to drive the price down where it's actually profitable or you break even to buy the gold options, but they can't get the price down. And in the meantime, China is buying it cheap in gold, and India and Saudi Arabia. So that's what's happening. The demand's huge. JP Morgan and the other bullion banks will not be able to keep doing it much longer. They actually need physical gold to do it. You can't just sell gold. You have to actually, you can't just sell paper gold. You actually have to have physical gold to sell it, to do these options. So it was a lot leveraged where, 100 ounces controlled 200,000 ounces. But you got to have the 100 ounces, which it's getting very thin that they have any gold left. And once they don't, they can't do the sell. So there's not much time left. And then you're not going to see the downs. Now it'll be up, up, up and away. The demand's too strong. All the Chinese players, all the BRICS central banks and people in Germany are buying it, just like people here are buying it. I don't know why Egon thinks nobody in America buys gold. So everybody, like just the normal people are buying it. Look at all the people that bought from Costco. So a lot of the times these guys just talk central banks, but there's shadow banks. Putin's backyard is probably full of it. So you have a lot of other people buying it. But when I go, let's say I went and bought 10 ounces, it wouldn't move the needle. Or if I sold 10 ounces, it wouldn't move the needle. But when they buy these big 400-ounce bars, that's what moves the needle. And with all these pension funds going in, with Egon and all these billionaires starting to buy, that will keep score. You're going to see the price really go. So all you're doing now is getting in early. So when you see 23, 27, even though you have ounces of it, you look at it, and if you can afford, you buy more. Silver 29.50 is the same thing. It's going to go up to at least $2,000, if not more. So when you see it down $1.23 and it's 29.50, you throw a party because this is a joke. This is I can buy it for $31. I hope to be going tomorrow to buy it. Once I get that, they want you. You've got the job. You just got to do the drug test and the background test, which is not a problem for me. Once they do that, then off to the silver at 29.50 before it goes up. So to me, this is a buying opportunity because I know this is paper price and not the physical price, which there isn't a physical price. But if we are analytical and we have spent a lot of times buying baseball cards and we see, I mean, this is really the key is we'll use our Montana rookie card. I think that auction ended, didn't it? Oh, here it is. Okay. So what do we know from this? $125,000 for the Montana card. There's no profit taking going on. There's no derivatives knocking the price down. You put it up for auction. I paid $200 for mine. It's $125,000. This is where the physical is going, and we understand that. But that's a physical card, not a paper card. So we know that this is going at least to Montana, but we understand it because we buy baseball cards and Rolexes and things not price fixed. So the Montana card's not price fixed. It's put on eBay and the market says boom. And the market apparently says, oh, it's a PSA 10 Montana rookie. 125, not a problem. And I think that's the key to it. So because I understand that, I understand this is nowhere near 2,300. And I understand silver is nowhere near $29, $30. It's at least 2,000 easily, just because of it's limited and it's money. And the key is the derivatives knocking it down. That's really the key to it. When you see the derivatives knocked down, that's it. I mean, that doesn't happen in the Montana card. I mean, it happened with Mark McGwire because he did steroids. So the steroids kind of knocked his value down and took people out of it that were into it. No, I don't want to. He's not in the Hall of Fame. I don't want his card. But I still like my McGwire and Barry Bonds, and all those guys are a joke. They all should be in the Hall of Fame because it should be based on them playing, not because he did steroids. It didn't help him at all. It doesn't make your hand-eye coordination any better. It doesn't really make you stronger. It just makes, it healed you, I guess. But what does that have to do with hitting a baseball? It doesn't have anything to do with it. It's your hand-eye coordination. Either you can see the ball and hit it or you can't. And apparently these guys today should all be doing steroids because none of them can hit. But that's what you got. You just had it going up and up and up and nobody coming down. And if Montana's 1 1/4, what do you think silver would be if you just let it go and you didn't have these derivatives. So I don't know what the banks are thinking. I don't know what they make on the derivatives, but they're all about to get killed because they're shorting something. It's like doing a derivative. I'm gonna sell the Mickey Mantle card at 50,000, and I'm gonna buy it when it drops to 40, and now it's at $1 million, and you're like, yeah, I probably aren't gonna win that derivative. It's probably a stupid derivative. I probably should have bet Mantle card to go up, or Jordan card, or Brady card. What am I doing thinking they're going to go down? And that's kind of what this is. Why are you thinking gold's going down? It's not going down. So I don't know. Again, they don't understand inflation. They don't understand if you print this to death, you print 21 trillion and another 130 trillion for FX transactions throughout the world. Guess what? This is worthless. So once you understand it's worthless, why would you expect it to go down? You would expect it to go up. You would expect the dollar to go down, but you would expect gold to go up, but only if you understood the correlations, which they don't understand. All right. So that's really what's going on with gold. First of all, it's paper prices, so don't worry. Secondly, it's going to physical. At least gold's going to physical very soon. Silver will follow it. And there is no volatility and all that. That's only in paper gold. And as the paper gold derivatives go out, you're not going to see volatility in physical gold. It's going to do one thing, and that's it. But we're not there yet. We're still dealing with paper. And the same thing with silver. Once the paper silver goes away, you won't see volatility in it. And that's what I laugh at. Egon or McGuire or Alligator, they sit there with the volatility in silver. Yeah, under paper. They don't get it. That's under paper trading, not physical. If you keep it in physical, there is no roller coaster on the Montana card on this. How much volatility is there on the Jordan card? 500 grand. I don't see it going down. I don't see Nolan Ryan. It's not even a good PSA. 118,000. And the Montana 125. These don't go up and down. Montana goes up to 100. Now it's 125. Once the economy gets going and the gold gets going, it'll just get priced in gold. But it doesn't go down. It only goes up. Mantle does not go down. Willie Mays does not go down. Sandy Koufax and Bob Gibson do not go down. They go up and higher and higher and higher based on demand. And that's where we are with gold and silver based on demand now. All right, we're talking a couple of movies. So let's talk My Cousin Vinny first. Then we'll get into Two for the Money, Two for the Show, and The Gambler. So in My Cousin Vinny, the whole movie, if you look at it now, makes no sense. Okay, they go in to buy groceries. He supposedly shoplifts a can of tuna, which nobody would have a clue he did. And then two other guys in a similar car go in and kill the clerk. Okay, so first of all, how do you know what car it was? How do you know who the killers were? Where's the murder weapon? And you stop these two guys. They shouldn't even have been pulled over. Let me see your murder weapon. I don't have it, and I don't know what you're talking about. But then they make the Karate Kid go, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. I stole the can of tuna. They're going to pull you over with lights for stealing a can of tuna, which nobody would have known you stole. And then you've got, then they're getting a confession of him from the Animal House guy. And I'm a little disappointed he didn't play the neck. And then he's like, when did you shoot the clerk? And he goes, I shot the clerk? Why would you say that? I mean, that's incredibly stupid. The answer should have been, what are you talking about? I didn't shoot any clerk. I didn't know a clerk died. Because I'm innocent. Oh no, I'm going to admit that I stole the can of tuna that nobody in the world, especially when this was made, would have seen it. And then he calls up Vinny to be his attorney. Are you telling me that that Vinny didn't know he had to actually prosecute a case, and to do a murder case, he would have had to do other murders and be involved in it? I know most attorneys are like hit and runs or car accidents. You couldn't hire half these attorneys to do murder because that's not their thing. So I mean, most attorneys wouldn't have been able to help him anyway. So how would Vinny have not known that I can't do it? I've never done a case before. Why wouldn't he have just said, I can't do it? And you didn't need Vinny. He could have used the public defender. But the case should never have gone. We didn't do it. All they had to do is say, we didn't do it. Prove we did it. You don't have a camera. You don't have a weapon. You don't have a motive. We didn't steal anything. What are you talking about? We didn't shoot the clerk. We didn't steal groceries. Well, your car looks like it's similar make to what it is. And then they get all these witnesses. So they drive in, get the groceries, and drive out. What witnesses? I'm going to witness two guys going to their car with groceries and go, yeah, that was clearly them because I saw them come out of I mean, it was so stupid. It's a funny movie, but as a stoic, and you're kind of looking at it going, this doesn't make sense. A lot of movies I'm watching now doesn't make sense. And you're going, this doesn't make sense. Why would it even have ever gone to trial? You have to prove they're guilty, which you can't. You don't have anything to prove it. You don't have a murder weapon. You don't have, your witnesses aren't even witnesses. I don't know where you got them. They just happen to be living near the grocery store. I can go to Meijer's or Target or Kroger's right now. Nobody would see me coming in or out. Yeah, it was him. It was the similar Camry that he took. So I thought that was really, like, if you watched it now, you'd be like, why are they going to trial? There's no motive. There's no weapon, and nobody saw him going around anyway. Nobody saw them do it, so they could never go to trial. So it's stupid. And then Vinny wouldn't know that he's got to be a murder trial and that he would have actually had to been to court. He wouldn't have known that. After 6 years, nobody's telling him this. Yeah, I was going to go to court and learn, 10 years from now. I don't know. I find it funny, but very impossible. Then we go to 2 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and 4 to go. The Al Pacino movie where they're sports bettors, sport handicappers. And I'm watching that one, and as a handicapper, I don't smell what they're cooking at all. Oh, he goes 12-0. Okay, that I can understand. Then he goes 2-12 and 1-13 or whatever. That I don't understand. First of all, you don't pick every game. You only pick the games that you like. See, in that movie, I would not. It's like baseball. I'm okay. I can pick every game, but I'm only really going to give out 5 games. That's it. I'm not giving out all 12. I don't like all 12. And I'd make that perfectly clear. I'm not betting every game. I'm only giving out games that I feel good about. And in the beginning, he gets it, and I know the players well, which is bullshit. We can tell if it's a winner, Mahomes or whatever. But yeah, it takes me about an hour to study the picks. And then I check injuries, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'll give the picks. Usually I post them Thursday and you have to for the Thursday game. But usually I'll post the picks Thursday night, Friday for the pros. College is maybe Wednesday or Thursday. I really like it. I check the injuries. And if a guy gets injured in practice or doesn't play, well, well, there's nothing we could do about it. I remember with Cam Rising, it was game time and we thought he's playing and the announcers thought he was playing. So hard to understand that. But I found that to be an incredibly stupid. He's gambling. He sets his wife up with the guy to see if she's cheating on him. That's a little bit far-fetched. Just the whole thing about how good he is, and then he can't pick. And then he goes to these rich guys, and he says, you're going to pay us $250,000 for my picks. Well, I mean, you pay for my picks up front. I don't see, well, you're going to tell us how much you bet, and we get a percentage. No, nobody does that. You pay for my, because you don't know what they're betting. I don't know how much they're betting. So this is what you pay for my picks. And I'm going to have my best picks on there, and I'm going to change them by units, and off you go. And then this guy, he's making the guy pay, bet 70,000, 100, 300,000 on these games, which is just bullshit. I don't tell you how much to bet. I tell you, I try to help you with figure out a bankroll. And once you get your bankroll, then bet a small percentage of your bankroll on the games. When you build your bankroll, that's how a professional gambler gambles. And if I get cold, I lose. I still don't lose my whole bankroll unless I get that. If I get that bad, I don't do it anymore. But that's where you're at with it. But you don't tell the guys how much to bet so you can get a bigger commission. Well, go bet 500,000 and then I get 10% of it. That doesn't work like that. I just thought the whole thing, the guy, either you can pick or you can't. I'm not saying 12-0, but if you know how to pick, you know how to pick. There's no, I can play poker. It's not like I all of a sudden can't play poker anymore, or I don't know how to play craps, or I don't know how to play blackjack. I mean, you learn the game and you got it. You learn how to handicap and you got it. There's none of this, oh, I went 0-12 crap. So I really don't understand. I lose the movie. I cannot watch the end of the movie. They don't know how to end a gambling movie. So it's good the first kind of 3/4 of it. The last quarter I can't even watch. It's so stupid. He can't pick anymore. He's got to flip a coin. And then he goes and he quits because it's too hard. Well, you're the guy who changed all the guys' picks in the beginning and you picked them all right. And now you got to flip a coin because you don't know what you're doing. Okay, I get losing confidence to a point, but not to that point. So I don't, you look at the game, you can pick the game. Now, I admit I changed from my trend analysis because everybody moved. I can't do it anymore. Very rarely. Like I said, Kansas City, there's Baltimore, maybe. There's maybe 5 teams I can use a trend analysis on. So I've developed my defense. Strong defense, weak defense, here's how we're going to bet them. So I developed that. But because I'm good, I can come up and develop new theories, test them out, and when they work, then I hammer it. Now that's what the defense is. I've got that figured out. So I don't buy the movie. If the guy hires me, I'm probably going 70% and I'm doing teasers, and I'm not doing every game. These are my top teasers of the week. Bet them. That's it. Here's just what I do with you guys. Here's my 5 and 10 star. Here's the 10 star. Here's the 5 star. And in football, I do the same thing. I make you buy the locks, and I do the locks, and I do the strong plays. The weak plays, we don't do them. We say no. I'm not sure, and that's what needs to happen. But you don't fuck the people over. And you don't make them bet more so you can get a bigger commission. So I didn't get how Al Pacino did it. I didn't get how the other guy couldn't pick. He's going golfing. Oh, there's nothing wrong with going golfing. But when you pick, but it doesn't take you 5 days to pick. Certainly you would know weather, and certainly you would know injuries. You always hear me waiting on the game. Well, it depends if Cam Rising's playing. If he's not, we're going under. If he's playing, we're taking Utah. I did that in week 1. I thought Cam Rising was playing, then he didn't. So we locked the under because Cam Rising wasn't playing the night before. And the under won, and Utah won. Everything won. It was beautiful. But see, you got your theories down. Once you get them down, you're done. Now, in the Gambler movie, I talk about that a lot. Again, he didn't use his bankroll. Where's your 40,000? How do you lose 44,000? If you have your bankroll, it's not 44,000. His bankroll would have been 1,500. That's all he should have been able to lose. That's what he makes in a month teaching. How does he bet more than 1,500? How is he going to pay it off? Oh, I'm not going to lose. Oh, really? And you're a gambler and you say that? And then he gets the money, and then he goes and bets. He gets the 45 grand to pay it off, and then he goes and bets 3 basketball games. And he goes to Vegas, and then he bets another game for 50. So he loses 100,000 in basketball games. Why would you be betting 50 grand on basketball? Well, I'm trying to break even. Well, that's an incredibly stupid way to bet. And of course, he loses his girlfriend. He's mean to his mother. He's mean to his grandfather. The grandfather, didn't he know the grandfather was not going to pay him the money, or would? If I have a rich grandfather, I go, look, I like to bet. If I lose, are you going to back me up, or am I going to bet with you? Or he's going to say, no, if you lose, you're on your own. Okay, fine. I don't go bet 50 grand and think, well, you know what, my grandfather's going to pay. What the fuck is that? Who does that? And then he just doesn't. He gets on a hot streak. He quits. Blackjack, roulette, baccarat, craps. He's hot and he quits. Who quits? You hit 18, you double down and get a 3 because you get a feel, and you win. You quit? No. You stay at that table for a month. You're not leaving that table ever. And the same thing with the baccarat. He hits 3 natural 8s. And wins 3 hands. Well, we're going to leave now because we're hot. But when I get cold, I'm going to stay and lose 44 grand. Doesn't make any sense. I was watching in the background of that movie a lot because I've watched it so much. And I'm mad because Pluto just took it off for some reason. So I got to hope it comes back on in a month or 2. But I like watching the movie really because I like seeing the Stardust sign in Vegas in 1973. It's a 1973 movie. So he goes to Vegas. I get to see Caesars 1973, and I see the downtown 73, and I see the Stardust sign light up. I miss it so much. 1973. That's why I watch the movie, is really for Vegas. I'll watch that 5 minutes of the movie and I turn it off. But I'm watching the people in the background, and they look like regular people. They do not look like actors. The crap table, they were not actors. There's a guy next to him in a red shirt, and and he's betting on him, and then he hits the point. And he starts rubbing his arm like he's hot. That is not in the movie. That is a real guy doing that, I believe. And same thing at baccarat. I would have swore that everybody at that baccarat table was a real baccarat player, except for him and Lauren Hutton. There was a guy next to him with the cigar. This guy he's playing baccarat there. This is not an actor. There's no fucking way. And the dealers and the pit guys are clearly not acting. They are clearly there as stickmen. anyway, that's the thing is you have to have goals and limits. If you're going to be a gambler, otherwise you're going to lose. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have a limit, you're going to lose. How do you lose 44 grand? Then you get the money back. You're not running to pay off the bookie before he kills you. You're not going to get the 40. So the mother gives him, and then he goes and all right, he goes to Vegas, gets lucky, turns it into 100,000. Should have turned it into about 500,000 if he would have played his streaks properly. And then he bets 45 grand on basketball games. What the fuck? And then you lose 2, and then you bet 50 grand on the Lakers with Jerry West, and you lose that one. What are you doing? So you do all this work to win in Vegas, and then you lose 100 grand betting basketball, which shows me that you don't know what you're doing betting basketball. You bet what? Harvard over Brown, and you bet Georgia Tech over some or Auburn, and then he bets UCLA when they were in their heyday with Bill Walton. And why would you bet Harvard over Brown? The games pick them. If I would assume you know Harvard's a better team than Brown, right? I mean, we can get away with it betting small football, right? How many times do I give us, UTSA over Rice or something, and we win it? I can do that. I can give you App State and Sun Belt and all those teams and win with them. Not a problem. Harvard and Yale, I used to bet back in the day, but they're not even, I don't even see lines on them. They would be great because you'd lay 3, you tease 9, and every game was 24-23. But with you're betting 15. Why are you betting 15 grand? You want to break even. You want to get your 45 grand back. Well, you can't do it like that. Just play them for 5 grand. And you fucked up anyway, and you lost them all. All you had to do is win 1. You would have only lost 30 grand. So doesn't know what he's doing. Didn't know how to play a streak. And if I hit 3 in a row at Backrack and I'm getting natural 8s, I'm never leaving the seat. I mean, I'll be here for a month getting natural 8s and natural 9s, and oh my God, I double down on an 18 and get a 3. I'm not leaving that blackjack seat for a month. Where are you going? Are you insane? You finally got your streak, and you're leaving, and then when you're losing, you build it up to 40. You have no game plan. So that's what I got out of that movie. James Caan was good in it, but again, I can't watch the ending. So they win the baskets, and then he goes to a bar and fights somebody, and like he's betting his life or something. Okay, stupid ending. Just stick to the gambling. So that's my movie thing. But the more I watch, the dumber the movies are. There's a movie I watch. It's a Copenhagen, it's called. And this guy and the girl, and then this other guy comes in. It's like, why is he in the movie? He doesn't belong in the movie. He doesn't add value to the movie. What the fuck is he in the movie for? But at first, when I watched it, I liked it, and then I'm like, who is it? What is the point of this person being in the movie? Or in Money Heist, I don't like that Tokyo gets killed. What was the point? Why would you kill Tokyo? She should have been there at the end. And that still bothers me. It's so stupid. And then this Berlin comes out. Where's the professor? Why isn't him and Tokyo in that little side movie? Anyway. So that's what I have with movies. I'll watch it once and I'll like it. If it's a good movie, I watch it more than once. But usually I'm looking for different things. I'm not just watching the plot. Okay, I know what happens. And I usually start looking at backgrounds. I start looking at, like in The Gambler, I'm looking at the other people when he's playing craps or when he's playing when nobody's really there at blackjack. But when he's playing backrack, I'm watching the other people. There's a couple in the background when he's playing backrack that I'm watching, and you know they're not they're not actors. They're gamblers who are at the casino in Vegas in 1973. They're behind and they're watching the action. You can see they're clearly not actors. So it's kind of cool by that. But I like trying to do that. A lot of times when I watch poker, I just pick up. People don't know how to play. It's like they'll check aces and then they get burned on the end, or somebody makes a big bet and they don't know what to do with it. You got to play aces defensively and protect them, just like chess. I got aces. I am not checking aces. Because if I check aces and then you hit a set of sevens, I'm fucked. Then I'm what? I'm going to start betting my aces now that I gave you the cards to beat me? So you got to come out aggressive with aces and be leery of the guy, check raising you. But, I folded my aces a lot to check raises, and I was right every time. Somebody would have hit a set, and I would have, and I lose. And it pisses me off because I got aces. I should win every time with aces because you have tens. How can I lose aces to tens? You've got to catch the other two tens. The odds on that are, huge, right? So I should very rarely lose with aces to a pair. And yet you lose a lot with aces, or a flush or a straight hits you. So you got to be very careful there. There's not as much Madoff going on in a casino, a little bit because of the odds. Like, you don't realize the odds in blackjack are now ridiculous, or in craps, like blackjack, the odds instead of 7-6 on your blackjacks, like 6-5. Well, that's a big drop. And then you can only double down like 10 or 11. Well, in the movie, the guy doubled down 18. You should be able to double down 8s. If you got 2 4s and the dealer's got a 6 up, I should be able to double down the 8 or the 7 because I'm doubling it because you got a 6 up or you got a 5 up. And you're going to go over, so I'm going to double down. That's what you should be able to do. And again, they're just fucking you all over, especially this BetMGM. I'm watching golf, and I can't believe BetMGM comes up, or FanDuel in the middle of like the guys like looking at a putt. Oh, well, you can bet FanDuel if I'll make a putt or on who's gonna win. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me with the betting? Oh my God, it's just fucking ridiculous that too much betting. Whoa, bet before the game and that's it. You want to bet the baseball? So I gave you the baseball. So you go ahead and you bet. You bet the 10 stars, the Cubs today. Okay, bet the Cubs. Well, I'm not betting him in the 4th inning if the guy's going to get a hit. I got the Cubs to win 10 units. That's it. Goodbye. I don't need to bet every pitch. How the fuck can you do that? These money lines, these whole prop bets are ridiculous. Please do not bet the prop bets, because do you really study? Okay, the NBA starts on the 6th. So we got Thursday. It's going to start. And you're going to bet Luca Brasi and whoever's on Boston, Jack Tatum. And how do you know how to bet them? How do you know the matchup? How do you know how many points or rebounds they're going to score? What's Boston going to do against Luca Brasi? They might double team him. He might not score 20 points because they're saying, fuck it, we're going to double team him and let somebody else beat us. Or maybe they don't. But unless he's Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, you don't have a clue how to bet these guys. And yet they want you to make those type of bets because you don't know. And the odds, you don't know what the odds are. That's the other problem. Oh, play the money line. It's you got to lay 180 to win. Is that a good line? Money line 180? You have no idea. You want to take the dog. You only get 140. Oh, wait a minute. I got to lay 180, but I only get 140. Football is worse. Oh, you want to take Alabama? You're going to lay 3,000 to win 100. But if you want the other team, if they're playing New Mexico State and you think they can pull the upset, I know you don't get 3,100. You get 700. Wait a minute, it's 3,100 to win 100, but I only bet 100. I only win 700. And you want to start fucking around with money lines with those odds? Good luck. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. See, they got you making bets that you really haven't studied. I know my way of looking at baseball. Let's go to football. That's my real thing. I'm looking, I'm going to bet Mahomes. I'm going to bet their defense. I'm going to bet Joe Burrow. I got it. I know what I want to bet in football. And I'm going to lay the points, and I'm going to tease it so I can get 7s down to 1. Week 1, I got KC -3 to Baltimore. I don't have to fuck around with it. I might have Cincinnati at 8, and I can tease them down to 2 in their game against New England, but it'll probably be 10. So I probably can't, if I want to tease it to 4, but that's why I'm going to, I might take KC or Cincinnati, lay the 4 because they're going to kill them. But, very rarely. But I don't want to start with money lines because I don't know if it's a good. I tell you that don't even go to MGM to bet them because the odds on MGM are a 130 to win 100. So I got about 130 to win 100 at MGM. But if I go to the William Hill in Vegas, it's 110 to win 100. So you're fucking me on 20 extra % to make a football bet. Do you realize that? Do you realize their odds are ridiculous, 130 to win 100, when I can get 110 to win 100? Now, yes, if you win the 100, but I got to bet less because I got to lay 130. So I got to bet 130 to win 100, where the other one I got 110. If I want to bet 130, I win 120 or 115. So stay away from MGM and make sure you get your odds on these games. And when you start playing money lines, you don't know what the odds should be. At least football, we know it should be 110 to win 100. And if we want to play a 3-team teaser, we know we actually get odds. We get 120. So we bet 100 to win 120, and we pick 3 teams in a teaser. Okay, well, at least I get odds. But if you don't know what the odds are, you can't play. How can you play? You're getting fucked on the odds. And in the long run, you're gonna lose because you had to pay more juice. So be careful with that, please. Understand the whole scope and everything like that. What else? So football coming up. So let's see. Any other movement? Okay, so I was looking at this war. War should affect gold because of this. So these idiots called Biden and the idiot. So here's a good one I highly recommend is this one here. Colonel Douglas McGregor, the West strikes Russian territory. Not really in Russia. It's a little bit on the border where Kharkov is, so which is really in the Ukraine, but it's a Russian city. So this is a very good. This will explain a lot to you. Putin really doesn't want to nuke anybody. He really doesn't want any more territory. But if the U.S., why is the U.S. butting in? I don't know. It's not our war. There really is not a war. Ukraine's not at war with Russia. And Russia's really not at war with Ukraine. Russia doesn't want NATO closer to their borders. Period. That's it. What is the U.S. involved with? Oh, we're giving them weapons. Well, then you're at war with them. Why are you at war with Russia? Well, because the elitists want, we want everybody to go into the borders and everything to be national or international, and every country just has whatever, that nobody's Polish or Czechoslovakian or German or Russian or France or American anymore. Everybody's just whatever. All the people just come in through the borders. That's kind of bullshit. I worked hard and I paid into my Social Security, into somebody's Social Security, and somebody's working hard to pay into mine. You're coming up with all this extra money to pay these guys coming into the border that are a bunch of terrorists and criminals, and you're paying them. Why are you paying them? You're not supposed to pay them. This isn't the land of socialism. Oh, come on to the U.S. We'll give you $1,000 a month and free room and board or whatever and food. Where are you getting that from? Oh, we're stealing it from the actual citizens. Do the actual citizens agree? No, they don't agree, but too bad. We don't care. And by the way, we're fighting in Israel. We're fighting in the Ukraine. So your taxes can go to that. Well, okay, whatever. We're not interested. And this is when you have terrible leadership and people that aren't elected that were put in because you fixed the election. And really, who's really in charge is George Soros. This is the Nazis' revenge. He's a Nazi. And this other guy, the Klaus Schwab, guy is also a Nazi. And they are, they're old enough that they were around. Well, I don't know about Schwab, but George Soros was 10 years old in World War II, and he helped the Nazis. And so he's trying to get revenge, and that's what this is. So he's blowing up America from the inside. He's making it socialist. He's doing everything he can to blow it up, and these idiots are just bought by them. All of a sudden, the system is, well, if I give the guy money, he'll do whatever I want. What the fuck? Where did this come from? You think you can do that to Putin? You think you walk into Russia and say, Putin, I'll give you $1 million in gold and you're going to do what I want. And he'd laugh at you and have you killed. Same thing in China. What are you kidding me? Where did this politics come from? And that's what we have now is it's all bought and paid for. So you go into the government and you're taking bribes to do what the lobbyists say. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to come in, represent the people, do what's best for the United States. Otherwise, go move to fucking Cuba or Russia or wherever. And that's how we're in the trouble we're in, but it's all because of George Soros and the fake judges and the bullshit election. And here's where it's coming to roost. Our money's worthless. Our government's worthless. The laws are worthless. We got Trump being found guilty. Now, if he's guilty or not, I don't really care. I don't pay any attention to it. I know Greg and John likes to bring it in. Trump was found guilty. I don't really give a fuck. It's not even a fair playing field, so I don't really care. All I care about is the great equalizer. This is the great equalizer. So that's all I care about. I'll be fine with my goal. So it's really, really disappointing. Our country is falling apart because we're letting George Soros do it. Nobody's checks and balancing George Soros. He gives money. He's got all this money that he stole from the Jews, from the gold, from the Nazis. And that's what he's doing. He's a bad person. He should be in jail, but he pays off the judges. And that's why the U.S. is in the shape we're in. And if you don't have money, you're collapsed. So we need to find a new medium of exchange, which is why I keep teaching that. That's really the only answer. If you have money that's worthless, everybody keeps talking, like I listen to Egon or Alligator, and well, in 2035, the debt will be 150 trillion. No, it won't, because there won't be a debt in 2035. We're not going to get out of 2025. We got this year and next, and the dollar's collapsed. So I don't know what you're talking about, that the debt's going to be that. There won't be a debt. There won't be a dollar. It doesn't last. So let's go back to the Romans. Did somebody come to Caesar and say, you know what, in 1000 AD, Rome, your debt in Rome is going to be, $1 billion. Well, wait, we took the gold and the silver out of the money and we don't have any money. And what did they make? They they didn't go very far. When did this Roman Empire end? Where's my? I have the one sheet that says the number ones. J.P. Morgan, responsible for the U.S. into World War I. Attaboy. He's our hero. Where did I go with my Roman Empire? It was like 700 years. It was like, geez Louise, where is it? Sorry. Oh, it must be in my notes. Here it is. The Roman Empire, 250 BC to 500 AD. It lasts 750 years. So imagine about 200 AD, we go, hey, Caesar, you're gonna have big inflation, and when we get to 700 AD, and there is no 700 AD, they took all the money. So it really was, the Republic was 250 BC to 68 BC, and then the Empire took over, and that's what we are, is an empire, and it doesn't work from 69 to 500. And so you want the Republic, you want gold standard and free trade and all that. And that's what they were doing. They were going into countries and, hey, why don't you join us and give us all your land and give us all your wealth, and you can become part of Rome. Now, the biggest thing I hear is they think the dollar's being debased. I hate when these idiots say that. Matthew Pathenberg, well, we're debasing the currency. No, we're not, Sherlock. Debasing the currency is if they took the gold out of the gold coin, which is what the Romans do. They debase their currency by taking the gold and silver out of the gold and silver coin, leaving it as like our money is. I don't have it, but let's say I had a quarter. Well, they debased it. They took the silver out of it, and now it's just copper or whatever. That's debasing. You debase. You take the gold out. And he keeps saying they're debasing the currency. No, they're inflating the currency. You're not debasing this. You didn't have gold in the dollar. It's nothing. You've printed it to death. That's what you've done. You've inflated the dollar. They don't even know inflation's the increase in the money supply. They're all so stupid. But anyway, that's, so it lasted 750 years, really about 200 years Republic. And then here comes the Empire coming in and rooting at Nero and some of the other strange, what was the other one? Diocletian, Nero, Augustus Caesar, Julius Caesar, all the big fellas. Who are my other friends? Big government kills the economy. Interesting how that happened in Rome, and we're doing it again now. Government gets too powerful and gets away from the free market. And then the government gets too big, and there goes your dollar, becomes worthless because they take the power out of it. They inflate it. They want to buy votes. They allow lobbyists in. And that's not Austrian economics. That's not free market. That's communism, basically. So it ends up turning into a communist situation where people want, like I said, I'm going to go out and make money and bake a pie, and you want to eat my pie because you're communist or socialist. You want to just eat what I made, but you don't want to go make it. And that's capitalism. I go and I work hard and I get a job and I make money, and all you want to do is tax me. I'm the one making the money. Excuse me. And that's the problem. And then so they see the pie out there, and the socialists and the government says, "Oh, here's all these pies. Why don't here we'll feed you." And the socialists, that's what they're teaching the kids in school now. The socialists sit there and go, "Oh, I don't have to work, and I'm gonna get all this money." These people come in the country from other countries, and they give them $1,000 debit card or whatever. You mean I don't have to do anything? They're just going to give me money, and they're going to put me up at the Roosevelt Hotel in New York or wherever in California, and I'm just going to stay there, and I don't have to pay rent. Well, that's great. Well, that's socialism. It's you're stealing money from the people that work hard and make the money. That's where the money comes from. We go out and make the money is where the money comes from. And it's just, and the socialists want to just grab it. And that's why we say there's nowhere socialism's ever worked, because you're robbing all the money that the hardworking capitalists made, which allows you to steal our money. And that's what the government does. They come in and tax us, and then they inflate the money. So they're stealing the money. So now this is worth 2 cents. Why is this worth 2 cents? Because the fucking government keeps stealing it from us. Why are they allowed to steal our money? We're working for the money. Why does this change in value? This should be tied. This should be right here. This should be joined at the hip, and this value should never leave. And that's why they don't want the gold standard, because they can't fuck us over. So this, if they use this would still be $37 for an ounce of gold. And this, you'd still be buying Pepsis for a dime and tuna for 25 cents. But they get rid of this so they can print this, and then they inflate it, and then they steal it all. That's why the stock market's high, because they keep printing the money and putting it into the stock market. It's not free market. There's no demand. They're propping it up, and it's about to blow. And I understand that, right? Most people don't get it. I get it. And I'm telling you, get out of it unless you want to lose your ass. But why do you want to work hard and lose your ass? You want to work hard and get this. That's what you want to do, but you don't know to do that, which is why you're listening, I assume. So that's what the problem is. The government steals from us, and that basically, here goes the Roman Empire, right? 250 BC to 5. Why did it end? Because the government took the money and inflated it, and they burnt down the city because he wanted to put up marble. Nero got rid of all the wood to put up marble statues of himself. A good waste of money if I ever saw one. And then you wonder why they collapse. Well, where's the money? So once you understand that, but they don't teach it. So you don't know, you're being blindsided that the dollar's worthless. You don't know that. I bet if you ask 20 people, anybody, people at a restaurant, people at your gym, people you know, your friends, your family, probably want to stay away from your family on that because they're going to give you a hard time. But they don't know. And the bigger thing is they don't want to know because they're scared. So they're walking around. I got 300 grand in the bank, 300 of this. That's worth about $10,000. But I got 300 grand. And they don't get it. And it's being just inflated to zero. And if very few people know what's going on, and they don't want anybody to know, and then they'll blame Putin on it. You watch, they'll blame Putin. It's the war in Russia that caused the inflation, and it's their fault. It's not ours. And that's why we're at war with them, because they want to, they think the war will save them or it'll deflect the problem. So the problem isn't the government fucked up and printed all this money, and that's what's causing the problem. The problem is, no, it's not that. It's this Russian war that's causing it. But yes, it is that you printed all this, JP Morgan. But we're not going to take the blame. We'll blame Putin. He's the bad guy. Well, did he print all the money? No. Well, then why would we blame Putin? You know, in defense of that, Russia, I think, has inflation because he hasn't gone to a gold-backed currency either, and he needs to pay for the war. And he's sitting on all this gold, so you would think he's going to break out the gold-backed currency. And he probably doesn't like the war either because he can't make money. He's a businessman. So is she. As I said at the beginning of the class, I'm a businessman. Now I'm trying to work as an analyst, but I'm also selling football, handicap football. That's my other job. So it's my job to sell whoever wants it. You're welcome. And we can talk about the picks. I can help you with money management, all that. And I'm damn good at it. And so that's all I want to do. That's how I want to make money. And that's what Putin wants to do. But Biden or the U.S. doesn't want to do that. They want to control people and have wars, which cost a lot. How do you think they're going to pay for the war? They just keep spending and spending and spending because some idiot MMT guy like Jim Rickard says, oh, that's okay. You can print as much as you want. And the reality is you can't. The more you print, the less it's worth. And so you end up with this just collapsed economy, collapsed government, collapsed country, just like the Roman Empire, right? We're this close from it. And everybody says, when? Why do you say when? Just understand. And that's why I say the Titanic, it's sinking. When? Well, when the boat's in the bottom of the Atlantic, it's sunk and it's filling up with water. So it's probably not going to be too much longer. But I can't tell you 3 o'clock. I can just tell you the boat's going down and then it sinks. I can tell you the dollar's going to zero, and all I can say is get on the lifeboat. Don't ask when should I get in the lifeboat. It's get in the fucking lifeboat, or you want to drown. You want to hold on to the door, or do you want to get on a lifeboat? And that's really the whole point, is just understand that you need the lifeboat. You get into gold and silver because they fucked the dollar up so bad that it has no value, and there's nothing. The only thing you can do to save it is to go buy about 10,000 tons of this and quickly change out the dollar and go back on gold, and then you can save it. That's the only way. But they're not smart enough to do it, or they're too smart and they think they just going to print. We'll just keep printing money. That's how we'll save it. Well, do you think the Romans tried that, or how about the French? How about the English? Don't you think they tried printing more and more money? How about Zimbabwe? Didn't they printed more money and then it was all worthless? Or Venezuela? Don't you think they would print more money and get out of it? Oh, you mean when they print more money, it becomes hyperinflation and it's worthless, and they go to the grocery store, there's nothing on the shelf, and nobody can afford it anyway, because the dollar's busted. But what people don't understand is because this is the medium of exchange, you throw it out, you bring in a new medium of exchange. The system works. I go work, I get paid, I go to the store and use it to buy things. That works. It's just you can't fuck with the medium of exchange. You can't get rid of it. You don't print it to death and then act like, oh, well, geez, I didn't know. So that's the problem. You can't do that. So you have to have a solid medium of exchange, which is why this is supposed to be the medium of exchange, because you can't fucking print it. So I'm going to get paid in this, and I'm going to take this and go to the grocery store and pay my bills, and everything's going to be pretty static. Interest rates will be like 1%. I go buy a house, boom, boom, boom. Everything works, and you never have the inflation or the unemployment or anything because you know this is stable. The only reason you have it is because you print this to zero, so you cause the inflation. Why are you printing it? This is very valuable, the medium of exchange. You shouldn't be killing it. But they don't want this because they can't be corrupt motherfuckers by, if they had the gold standard, they couldn't go to all these wars, and the defense contractors couldn't make all this money on a war. Needless to say, the fact that they kill all these people should be enough to, they've killed, what, 700,000 Ukrainians. And another couple million fled. I mean, Jenna's friend Natasha's in Germany. So a lot of Ukrainians fled to Poland, and they fled to Germany. And it's no picnic there. But thank God Putin only wants the Russian parts. And Jenna doesn't live in a Russian part. She doesn't really like the Russians. And then Daria is living under this, everybody hates Americans in Russia, or, everybody hates, I don't have a sign that says I'm an American. And I've never, as much as I've traveled, I've never had a problem. I mean, Jenna wore a Ukraine t-shirt in Portugal, and nobody said a word to her. One Canadian couple did. In the whole 10 days, week we were there, nobody else in the hotel, nobody said a word. They don't care. So you got to be careful with that. But the problem is that George Soros put the heads of these countries, got them elected. The judges are all corrupt. The leaders, you can see how weak the leaders are. They're just yes men who are taking the kickbacks. Zelensky. He's killing his people. Zelensky's killing his people for the money. He's got money in Cyprus, and he takes the money and he runs. He's not running the Ukraine. He's in bed with BlackRock, and he's in bed with Biden, and he's getting the kickbacks. And I don't know what they're planning. I don't think they have a plan. And Russia's laughing, going, "Look, we're up 72-0. We're not really worried about losing here." And they keep bothering Putin. He's like, "I'm going to fucking nuke you then." He's not really going to, but he makes it a point. Then we have this. This is the second one. And it says, biggest blow, Russia seizes 100,000. Russian army captures 100,000 of Kiev's ammunition. I didn't listen to it. I just kind of liked it for you guys. So Russia's found all their ammunition in Kiev. So who's the bright one? So Zelensky's an idiot. He should not be in office. They went to martial law, which is terrible, which means the military's running the country. And they're just picking up kids and putting them in the army. They're kidnapping their own people. This guy should be in jail. It's a horrible thing. And again, because you got weak leadership who are corrupted by the money, they do whatever they're told. Well, that's not a leader. You're not leading anything. So it's very disappointing, but that's where we're at. So keep in mind, the gold is down because of the derivative of the Eddie Murphy. They're selling gold at 2,300 so they can buy it at 2,200. The problem is it's not going down, so they've sold a bunch in these derivatives and options, but they can't buy it because the price didn't go down. So imagine Eddie Murphy in Trading Places. He sells it at 142, but it goes up to 242. He would then have to buy it at 242. But he sold it at 142. So he's going to lose $100 a contract, which is what happened to Duke and Duke. They bought at 142 and sold it. They did the opposite and sold it at 24. So wait a minute, if I bought it at 140, I said I need to sell it higher. So what's happening here, it's the same thing. It's trading places. They are selling it. So JP Morgan and the boys are selling and lowering the price. They're selling the derivatives with the hope of buying it back. And they're selling it at 23.50 or 23.70, and they want to buy it at 2100, and they can't because the price is 23.50 right now. So they're buying at 20. Let's say they're selling at 2300. They want to buy it at 22, but now it's up to 23.50. They're all going to lose their ass. And I don't know if they have any money left. I mean, how much fake? Well, I guess they just keep printing money, but money's worthless. So you can't have all this debt and all this interest and think. So you got to know what do you prefer? Clean money that you can't print, or bullshit money that's being printed by the government to make them rich until it's not worth anything. So we know this is worth nothing. All right. Egon says it's worth a penny. Maybe. We'll give him the credit. It's worth a penny. Or this, which is worth 700 of these, but we know that these are going out. So we know this is worth a lot more than 700. And with these derivative options, selling it to sell it at this price to buy it at a cheaper price, we know that this is being held down. It should be more, but they keep doing we're going to sell it 700, or we're going to sell it 2300 so we can buy it at 2200. But it never happens. It keeps going up, so we can't buy it at 2200. So the banks are the dumbest people I've ever. The banks are like the James Caan character in the movie, in The Gambler, where he loses to 44 grand and then he gets it, and then bets it all on basketball and loses the 44 grand on 3 college games. And that's what these banks are doing. They keep shorting it. They keep selling it to buy it lower, and then it keeps going up. So they keep losing the bet. I'm going to sell it at 2200. Oop, it's at 20. I got to buy it at 23, but I sold it at 22. So I keep losing $100 a contract or $50 a contract. They're just idiots, but they keep doing it because they think that's okay. JP Morgan will just keep printing money. They'll bail us out. And this is the problem with banks. Banks can fuck around, and if they lose, they get bailed out, which means they print more money. So the government prints money and gives it to JP Morgan and whoever, only this time they can't, because the money's worthless now, and the amount of money they'd have to print and give it to them wouldn't be worth anything. So the banks will be collapsing because they're all a bunch of fucking idiots trying to short gold instead of buying gold to go up. Why don't they buy the gold now and then sell it higher? So what they should be doing is they should be buying it at 2,300, and when it hits 2,400, selling it instead of selling it at 2,300, wanting to buy it at 22. A bunch of morons. All right, but that's what's happening, and then they're trying to keep the price down. So don't get worried that the derivative price, paper price of gold, and we'll take a look at it. All right, so it's still 23.27. Do not get disappointed that that price is there, because we know JP Morgan is selling. They're selling it at this price to buy it at 2,200, but the Chinese come in at 23.18 and buy, and then the Chinese come in at 23.24 and buy. The Chinese come in at 23.29 and buy. And they know that this is what's going on, so they keep coming in and fucking it up, and they're buying cheap. So there's two little tricks going on. Part of the reason the price is down is so the Chinese can buy it at a cheap price. The other is to get the derivative where they can buy it underneath what they sold it for. So they're selling first, then they're buying. All right. Hey, Greg and John. I can't afford gold, just some silver. All right, I don't care. Go buy silver. I mean, you act like you have no money. I don't understand that. But go get a job and get some money, or go sell stuff and get money. But anyway, you got to get out of dollars and into gold and silver. And that's the bottom line. So you should be buying it at this 23.27, although with premium it's 24.27, which is why there's no profit. So I would advise you to buy the silver at about 31.55 and wait for that to go up to $2,000 an ounce, and you'll make your money that way. But I'm telling you what to do. I don't know what you're doing. You should be working or finding a way to sell your assets to get gold and silver. You should be selling your paper. You should be selling this crap to buy it, but that's up to you. I can only tell you what to do. You got to figure out, and if you don't, you're going to be left out in the cold. I'm telling you what's going to happen. So go buy it. Otherwise, you're in big dog doo-doo. But anyway, so the interview went very well yesterday, I believe. At the end, I kind of said, well, it's a really good fit. I'm sure I work good for you. And, you're what I'm looking for. And so I hope I didn't, you always get this like, fuck, did I ruin it by saying that? And I don't think so, but it crushes your mind. You're like, fuck. Like in the other ones, I think I said, well, I got my master's in 95, and I think that ruined it. I'm not sure it did. I'm just trying to figure out why I didn't get the job. So here, I know I did a good interview. I even said it to myself about 3/4 of the way in the interview, going, this is a good interview. You're doing good. To myself. A little stoic. I'm in the pool today, and I'm thinking out loud about getting the job, and then, okay, if I get the job, I'm going to make X, and now I'm going to get the extra money and do Y and buy more gold, pay off some credit cards, help the girls. And so I'm kind of like, I'm just talking to myself. I do that a lot. And there's a lady in the lap pool, and she says, who are you talking to? And I look at her, and I just keep swimming. Like, I don't believe I'm talking to you. I don't believe I said, hey, lady. I believe I'm talking to myself, which you should be able to pick up. In other words, fuck off. I'm not talking to you. I have no desire to talk to you. I don't know who you are. I don't know your name. And I don't want to have a conversation with you, which is going to be a vampire conversation. So I didn't answer. I wasn't rude in the fact that I said fuck off, or I'm just thinking. I was going to say I'm thinking out loud, and I said, why should I say that? And I just kept going, and I didn't even look at her. I was just, who are you talking to? And I just kept going on. Well, let's see. I can do this, and hopefully I get the job, and I'll know soon. And I'm going through the whole thing, and she's looking at me. Who are you talking to? Like, why would you ask that question? Obviously, I'm not talking to you, or we would be talking. Obviously, I'm thinking out loud, which is not unique. I mean, people do that. So what's the point? Right? So that's why I was with her, like, just, as Bobby would say, it's a shake my head moment. I just basically was like, in my mind, lady, this is too stupid to answer. Who do you think I'm talking? You never heard somebody kind of think out loud? And that's all it was. And she's sitting there, do you think I'm talking to you? If I'm talking to you, I would say, hi, excuse me, I want to talk to you. So I didn't say anything. Anyway, I was laughing at that. That was very stoic. And outside of that, not much else. Again, I'll probably know about the job tomorrow. I'll at least ask my recruiter. But it seemed to go very well. He seemed to be, you're like the only one they wanted. Yeah, my interview went very well, and we were talking about how I could help him, and I'm very good at automation and production. There was nothing that he had any negative, and even if I said, I'll take the job if you offer it, or stuff like that, which is good. I was excited. So I don't think there's anything I said that would stop it. But again, I'll know. They had to talk to HR today and then work on a letter of acceptance. We offer you the job at this pay, and you sign it. So it's going to take them a day or two to do that. So I think they're in a hurry to go. And, he said it'd be about 2 weeks. I just want to get the green light. Then I can go buy more of this. More silver, and off we go. And anyway, so that's it. So the baseball games today. We got Kansas City, 5 units. Philadelphia under 9, 5 units. Pittsburgh under 8, no bet. Miami over 7, no bet. The Yankees, 5 units. Baltimore, no bet. Atlanta, 5 units. Texas over 7.5, no bet. Cubs, 10 units. That's the big one. Houston over 9, no bet. Cincinnati over 11, 5 units. California over 8.5, 5 units. And Oakland over 7.5 for 5 units. That's today's pick. So if I say no bet, it means I'm not putting out a bet on it. Where Philadelphia under 9, it's 5 units. So that would be one to bet small, whatever your bankroll is, not 44,000. And the biggest one is the Cubs. They have an ace going against the pig on the White Sox. Game's in the Cubs. It's in Wrigley, so I would think, they're just used to their ballpark. But I like that's my big play, the Cubbies. We still got NBA, not till Thursday. Today's Tuesday. I woke up today and I didn't know what day it was. I'm thinking, is it Friday? And then I realized, no. Monday was my interview. Today's Tuesday. Okay, and what are we supposed to do with that information? Who's the quarterback? Oh, Sam Darnold? Oh, okay. So he's going to catch like 10 passes with no quarterback. Anyway, so that's really what's going on. So we're working on our thing. We talked about week 1 of the NFL. The Roman history, 250 BC to 500 AD. Inflation is the printing of money. That's it. It's got nothing to do with prices. Prices are only good if the market will bear them. If the market, you can make Cheerios $20 a box. If nobody wants it, nobody's going to buy it. So in the hyperinflation in Germany, you needed a new dollar. What eventually happened is they came out, instead of a rice bank, they came out with a Deutsche Reichsmark. They went to a Deutschmark. So they changed the currency, and that settled things down, which is what I'm expecting here. And it's not a CBDC. It's a new one of these. That'll settle things down. But right now, they're lying to, inflation is 2%. Okay, first of all, you cannot measure inflation with percentage because all the prices go up differently. So you don't know what inflation really is by percentage. It's either you printed $20 trillion or you didn't. And if you printed it, the dollar has no value. And that's all it is. There's no percentage. The last story of the day. So I go to Coney Island to get a burger after swim. I'm too tired to cook. It's 2:00. I'm going to come home and do class until I get home and my internet's out, but now it's back. And so I go to the waitress. I said, give me a half-pound burger, no cheese. You like anything with it? Just pickles on the side. And she brings me a hamburger. She brings me a hamburger, not a half pounder. She brings me lettuce and tomato, no pickles. And I'm like, what the fuck? How hard is it for you to give me the right thing? Oh, and I got a chili with it. The chili she didn't fuck up. That was actually good. The hamburger, she gives me a hamburger instead of a half-pound burger, and I'm hungry and I want to eat the meat. So I want to eat a half-pounder. She doesn't bring it, but I don't really know until I get the bill, and the half-pounder is $6 something, and I guess, third of pounder is $5 something. So I see the bill, $5. So I go complain. When I go pay, how was everything? Well, she fucked up my entire meal. I asked for a half pounder. She didn't bring it. I asked for pickles. She brought everything, but I got water. The chili was okay. And he said, oh, next time I'll give you a deal on the half pounder. I go in there about once a month when I'm just tired. I was really exhausted from yesterday, and I didn't feel it. I have chicken that's defrosting. I'll probably make an omelet right now for dinner, but it's just I'm hungry. It's 2:00. I'm hungry. I want a half pounder and the chili. And then she didn't come back for more water until much later. So I'm looking, and she said, oh, you should have told me you wanted a half pounder. I told you I wanted a half pounder. I said, I don't want cheese. I just want just the burger, but half pound. Why didn't you tell me? Well, I didn't know you didn't give me the half pounder. You can't really tell too much, but when you charged me $5 instead of $6.99, I knew I didn't get the half pounder, but it's already too late. I thought it was a little small. So I was, like, fuck, lady, you have one job. I'm telling you, this is what I'm ordering. That's what I expect. I can't, if you don't get it, if you say, oh, was that a half pounder or a quarter pounder? You didn't say. And then, with the water and then the pickles, and why didn't you ask me? Well, I told you, and you can't take an order. It's not my fault. But I was stoic about it. I didn't get into a pissing contest. I just said, I'm not doing it for don't charge me next time for the half pounder. Just this girl can't follow directions. Pickles, no pickles. Half pounder, no half pounder. Come back with water. She doesn't. I mean, it was like, but I stayed stoic, and I was just like business. Like, this is not what I ordered, and I got it, and I wanted a half pounder, not that. And that was it. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just said, this is what I wanted. I didn't get what I wanted. So you asked how everything was, and I'm telling you, the girl you have has her head so far up her ass. She can't, what do you want with your hamburger? And you say pickles, and she doesn't give you pickles. But she heard the word pickles. So when I looked at the receipt, it said no pickles. I said, where'd you get this from? I told you I wanted pickles. I didn't want the other. So what do you just heard pickles and you assume no pickles? Why didn't you ask me, or half pounder or not? So it was frustrating, but I go there once. I think I'll look for a new Coney Island. It's just hamburger and chili. It's just something to eat. Something quick that's not too expensive. There's this other hamburger place I go to, and they're much more expensive, and the chili's terrible there, and the salad's terrible. So you get a side with it. Well, I don't want fries, so I get chili as a side, and the chili, I don't know, it's not real chili. It tastes like shit. And the burger's okay, but nothing special. I might as well get the half pounder at the Coney instead of there. and then I'm paying $11 instead of $6.99. So, anyway, so that's what happens. That's my last stoic story of the day. But anyway, let me know if you have any questions. www.teaserking.com. If you want, you get my email there. You can ask me questions. Again, keep in mind, this is the paper gold price. What I told you yesterday with the demand for gold from the Chinese citizens, the pension funds for Egon, and the billionaires from Egon. Just understand that there's huge demand. The price is going to go to the moon. It just doesn't go the next day. And then you're not going to see these ebb and flows. It's all COMEX. It's doing derivatives. It's trying to, they are selling the gold and they're trying to buy it cheaper. That's why you see the push down. So they sold it at 23.36. They put an option in and it went down to 23.18. And they should have bought it at 23.18. And then they sold it and they would have made profit. But this will then shoot up to 2,400. And they're like, oh shit, we're apparently in it at 23.34. We sold it 23, so we got to buy less than we sold it for. And that's not going to happen. Why are they still doing it? Now, the only other reason is the Chinese. This way the Chinese can buy it at 23.18, which is what they have. They're getting a little discount for some reason. But that's it. So really, this is breaking up and going away, this paper gold, paper silver. So until it goes away, which I think is the end of the month, we're stuck with this, but it is not, the prices are being price fixed by derivatives. It is not real. It is not somebody selling this. Nobody in their right mind selling it. The only time they sell it at my CoinStop is because they need money. So they're selling it to go get groceries or to pay rent. Okay, that makes sense. That's the only reason they're selling. They're not selling it to take profit because nobody's that stupid. You don't sell gold and silver to take profit. Oh my God, because then you get back on the Titanic. So who wants to get off the lifeboat back onto the Titanic? What idiot would possibly do that? Oh my God. Like I said, if you need to pay a bill, okay, I got gold, I'm going to pay the bill, and off I go. So that's another reason I'm a little nervous about the job, because then it opens everything up. Now I've got money coming in, pay down credit cards, buy more gold and silver, put money more into the safe, and I got more money for the girls. So that pressure is on to get it. Now I'm okay if I don't get the job, but I got to be a lot more limited in my spend. I can't go buy a bunch of gold. Gold is my safety net, but I'm not selling it. So I already moved most of my dollars into gold. So I'm okay, but I'm not going to sell the gold to get back into dollars. So that's why if I get the job, then it becomes, okay, now I can buy more gold with it and put more money away in the safe for a while and then do more things with it. So that's what I'm looking to do. All right, everybody, have a good day. www.teaserking.com. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have questions. I try to keep it at a very base level, not like Mark McGuire and Egon and Alligator, who you got to listen to 5 times to go, what the fuck did he just say? I'm trying to figure out. Peter Schiff on the Invisible Hand, I had to watch it 5 times to go, what did he say? And he doesn't even understand Invisible Hand. He knows to say it, but he doesn't really understand what it is. And again, I'll end with that. The Invisible Hand is me being able to want Canadian Club and to go buy it. And they can go sell it. That's the Invisible Hand. I can choose what I want, and somebody can make what I want. And we meet at the grocery store. I go to the shelf. There's Canadian Club. I got medium of exchange, and I buy it from you. I choose that product. That's the Invisible Hand. My freedom to make money and my freedom to buy things and their freedom to sell things. That's the invisible hand. All right, everybody. Have a good day. I am going to cook an omelet and watch Die Hard 3 Zones. My favorite one, the Die Hard with the second favorite. See, now that's a good part. That's actually part 3. The part 2 one sucked, but there's Die Hard, and then Die Hard 3. It's the guy. It's Hans Gruber's brother, and he couldn't figure out. They said, well, he speaks German. You'd have thought whatchamacallit would have figured it out. Bruce Willis, and that didn't give him a clue. And then they finally steal all the gold from it's funny when you watch them steal the gold, it's all these other countries. The U.S. has no gold in the New York Fed. It was all the other countries. And that's how in Fort Knox, there's no gold there, where it's the other countries. But that's really what it is. So it's a good movie because he's getting revenge and still stealing the gold. So I like that's a very good continuation. And that's why I bitch about Money Heist. They do the continuation with Berlin, but it should correlate. The professor in Tokyo should be in it, or Nairobi should be in that because it's years past. And it only makes sense, but without them, you're like, I'm going to get used to these 8 other idiots that I could care less about. So it was a very weak, I thought, because they spent 10 minutes on the robbery and then all this other time on this other bullshit. And it was really stupid. So hopefully if there is a next, it'll be Professor or Tokyo or somebody else, not just Berlin with those stupid people. Anyway, www.caesarking.com. Have a nice day. Enjoy your movies and kind of watch the people in the back and, watch it the first time for the plot. And then the second time go, what's this guy? Like that one, Copenhagen. What the hell is this? What's his friend doing in the movie? He serves no point. It's absolutely idiotic. So anyway, have a good night, everybody. I will talk to you tomorrow. Again, I lost my power. I would have been on earlier. I couldn't believe it, but it came back on pretty quickly. So anyway, have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully, by the time I come on, I will know if I've got the job or not. I will bother my guy tomorrow. Say, any news today? Is it a yes? I would think it is. He said, you're the only one they were really interested in. And I had 2 good interviews. And the interview yesterday was a good interview. So anyway, I will talk to you tomorrow, hopefully, with that news. And then I can move on and not worry about it. All right. Good luck on your baseball. All right. Take care, everybody.